This is the story of one of the worst attacks ever recorded on internet history. How the United States helped create it, how a single hacker stopped it by accident, and how that got him arrested. On May 12 of 2017, a ransomware worm called WannaCry was detected for the first time in Asia. After one day of the infection, the worm had spread to over 250,000 computers all around the world, infecting 10,000 computers per hour. It hit companies like FedEx, Honda, Renault, and Nissan, as well as thousands of individuals. One of its worst victims was the NHS, the UK's National Health Service. It infected up to 70,000 devices, including computers, MRI scanners, and blood storage refrigerators. Hospitals had to turn away non-critical emergencies. Ambulances were rerouted, and 19,000 appointments were cancelled because of the attack. WannaCry was a ransomware worm, which means that it is made up of two parts. The ransomware part was a program that would encrypt all your files if it got inside of your computer. Once all your files were encrypted, a pop-up will show up telling you that you have to send $300 to a Bitcoin address to decrypt your files before 3 days pass. If 3 days pass, the price will double, and if 7 days pass, your files would be lost forever. The message also said that free events will be held for users so poor that they could not afford to pay in 6 months. Ransomware attacks happen all the time, but what made WannaCry so dangerous is how fast and easily it spread. And that is because instead of delivering it by email, WannaCry was being delivered as a worm. A worm is a malicious software whose sole goal is to spread to other computers as quickly as possible. It tries to copy itself and jump from one computer to the next, using any vulnerability available in the system. The worm that delivered WannaCry worked very well, thanks to the fact that it was using code made by the NSA, the National Security Agency of the United States. The National Security Agency, or NSA, is basically the US government's top secret spy agency. And as Edward Snowden let us know, they spy on every country in the world and can get almost anywhere they want. They can intercept every email, phone call, message, and can get into any device. As powerful as the NSA sounds, in 2017 a hacker group known as the Shadow Brokers stole and leaked a bunch of tools belonging to the Equation Group, a team of top hackers working for the NSA. The tools they stole were a bunch of exploits and backdoors for Windows systems. The NSA never reported those security vulnerabilities to Microsoft, so the security holes were out there in the open. Here is a table of the exploits they leaked with a mark on what Windows version it worked on. The exploit WannaCry used was ETERNALBLUE, which as you can see is one of the most powerful on the list, working on almost all Windows versions at the time. ETERNALBLUE used a vulnerability on Windows Server Message Block, or SMB, which is a communication protocol used by computers for file sharing, print and sharing, and network browsing. Using ETERNALBLUE, the NSA could get access and run any code it wanted on a vulnerable machine. The NSA was in possession of ETERNALBLUE for 5 years, but it was only after the tools were leaked that they alerted Microsoft about it. Microsoft pushed an update fixing the issue 2 months before WannaCry was released. But as we know, people don't always install updates immediately, which left many computers vulnerable. As the attack was unfolding, a hacker named Marcus Hutchins, known online as Malware Tech, started to reverse engineer the code of WannaCry from his bedroom. He discovered that before encrypting all the files, WannaCry would try to connect to a server on this address. It is very common for viruses to try to connect to a control server, to phone home and let the attackers know of another successful infection, or to wait for instructions. But what Marcos discovered is that the domain name was not even registered. No one owned it. There was no control server. The website did not exist. After realizing this, Marcos quickly bought the domain for $10. And just like that, the attack stopped everywhere in the world. It turned out that WannaCry had a kill switch. After it was executed, but before it encrypted the user's files, WannaCry would try to connect to that domain. And only if it didn't find the website, it would proceed with the encryption. The hackers that made WannaCry put a kill switch on it to be able to stop it if the attack went out of control. Thankfully, Marcos bought the domain before they did, stopping the attack on the same day it started. This made Marcos a hero and got him a lot of online attention, some of it maybe unwanted. 3 months after saving the day, Marcus was arrested after attending a hackers conference in the US. Initially, people thought it had to do with WannaCry, with some security researchers speculating that he was the creator of it and that's why he knew how to stop it. But it turned out that the arrest had nothing to do with WannaCry. Marcus was being accused of creating Kronos, a banking malware. Kronos stole banking login credentials from browsers, using keyloggers and web injection. Marcus was also accused of selling Kronos on Alphabay, a darknet market seized by the FBI. Marcus admitted to selling and being the main developer of Kronos from 2011 and 2015. Marcus made this statement on the trial. I regret these actions and accept full responsibility for my mistakes. Having grown up, I've since been using the same skills that I misused several years ago for constructive purposes. Thankfully for Marcus, the judge did not sentence him to jail. Because of what he did with WannaCry, the judge recognized that Marcus was using his skills for good, even before being arrested. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this story? What do you think about Marcus, and what do you think about him not being sent to jail for his involvement in Kronos? I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. 언제나 감사하고 사랑합니다. See you on the next one. 다음에 봐요. Bye bye.